The real difference between young and older women in love. Love is universal, but the way it is experienced, expressed, and valued changes with time. It evolves, just as we do. Today we explore something few speak about openly, yet everyone feels beneath the surface. The difference between young women and older women in love. It's not a question of better or worse. It's a question of depth, of priorities, of what the heart seeks at different stages of life. And if you understand this, you understand human connection on a deeper level than most ever will. When a young woman loves, it often feels like the first light of dawn, bright, expansive, full of wonder and endless possibilities. For her, love is often about discovery. She is discovering herself, the world, and the people in it. There is an energy of exploration, curiosity, and spontaneity. She seeks experiences, not always clarity. She is drawn to the excitement of what could be, not necessarily the certainty of what is. Romantic fantasies are alive and well. The dream of love at first sight, of wild adventures, of passion that burns brightly, even if only for a moment. And because of this, young love can be both intoxicating and unpredictable. It runs fast, feels deeply, and sometimes ends just as quickly as it began. It is beautiful, but often fragile, not because it is false, but because it is still learning the weight of commitment, the meaning of endurance. Now contrast this with the love of an older woman. Her love is like the sunset, rich, warm, deep in its colors. It carries the beauty of experience, the quiet power of understanding. She has seen seasons come and go. She has felt the thrill of youth and the lessons of time. Her love is less about the thrill of the unknown and more about the depth of the known. She does not seek chaos. She seeks calm. She values connection over conquest, presence over performance. For her, love is not just about excitement, it is about meaning. It is about shared moments that build slowly, steadily into something lasting. She looks beyond surface charm, beyond empty words, and into the core of a person's character. Where a young woman may wonder, what could this become? An older woman asks, what is this truly? There is wisdom in her eyes, and in her heart, a quiet bravery. Because she understands that real love is not perfect, not always easy, but profoundly worth it. But here's the truth most miss. Both kinds of love are real. Both have beauty. Both have lessons to offer. The fire of youth teaches us passion. The depth of maturity teaches us purpose. The young woman may show you how to feel alive. The older woman may show you how to feel at peace. One is the thrill of the open road. The other is the warmth of home after a long journey. And if you are wise, you will appreciate both without judgment, not placing one above the other, but seeing them as parts of the same human story. Because in the end, love is not confined by age. It is shaped by experience, but its essence remains timeless. So when you meet her, young or old, see her fully, not just the surface, not just the age, but the heart beneath it all. Because love, in all its forms, is a reflection of life itself, ever-changing, ever beautiful, and always worth understanding. Lessons each brings to love. If you look closely, you'll realize both young and older women, in their way of loving, offer profound lessons, not only about them, but about yourself. The young woman's love, full of spontaneity, will challenge you to stay present in the moment, to embrace life as it comes, to welcome surprises, to dance with uncertainty rather than fear it. She reminds you that joy is found in now, not always in tomorrow. She teaches you the fire of living boldly. She can spark creativity, revive your sense of wonder, and keep your spirit agile. But her lesson comes with a quiet warning. Do not cling to fleeting moments. Do not try to cage what is meant to be free. Enjoy the brilliance of the flame, but understand it was never meant to last forever in its wildest form. On the other hand, the older woman's love teaches you depth. She invites you to slow down, to see the richness that time can bring. With her, you learn to appreciate the beauty of patience, of trust built not overnight, but over seasons. She shows you that true connection is not a spark. It is a steady fire that warms you long after the initial blaze has passed. She challenges you to show up not just in passion, but in presence. To listen not just with your ears, but with your heart. Her lessons are about endurance, about emotional maturity, about honesty without fear. And like the young woman, she too offers a warning. Do not mistake calmness for lack of desire. Her love may be quieter, but it burns no less fiercely. It is simply a fire that knows how to last. But here's the wisdom of Stoicism in all of this. The Stoic man understands he does not seek love to complete him, whether from youth or maturity. He stands whole within himself and welcomes love as a guest, not a savior. He does not lose himself in the thrill of youth, nor does he grow complacent in the comfort of maturity. Instead, he remains steady, present, anchored, because he knows it is not age that makes love meaningful. It is depth of connection. It is clarity of intention. It is respect for the moment and respect for the person before him. He does not chase, he attracts. He does not demand, he invites. And above all, he does not fear the changing seasons of love, because he himself has become like the earth beneath them, unshaken. So whether she is young and wild as spring, or wise and deep as autumn, meet her with your full presence, not with fear, not with desperation, but with quiet strength, curiosity, and respect. Because the man who understands the seasons of love does not try to control them. He simply enjoys their beauty, fully, deeply, and without regret. And that, perhaps, is the greatest lesson of all. How time changes us both, men and women in love. Time is the great sculptor. It carves away the unnecessary. It reveals the essence beneath appearances. And love, too, is shaped by its patient hands. As women change through the seasons of life, so do men. But where many falter is in believing that time is an enemy. They see the passing years as something to resist, to fear, to fight against. But this is a misunderstanding of nature itself. The Stoics teach us, amor fati, love your fate, accept the flow of time, and use it to become more. Just as a young woman discovers her power in beauty and vitality, so does a young man often seek validation through conquest, through proving himself in the eyes of the world. But youth is loud for a reason. It needs to announce itself because it has not yet built its depth. In time, the mature man learns. True strength is quiet. True confidence is subtle. It doesn't need to shout. It simply is. While young men chase, the wise man attracts. While young men fear aging, the wise man sees age as an ally, not an enemy. Older women often appreciate this in ways few understand. Because as they evolve, they no longer seek the restless, boastful energy of youth. They seek stability. They seek presence. They seek a man who knows who he is, not one still trying to prove it. This is where the mature man and the older woman meet in perfect alignment, not in a place of desperate longing, but in mutual recognition. She sees his calm, his wisdom, his grounded nature. He sees her depth, her clarity, her quiet fire. Together, they create a connection that goes beyond surface-level attraction. It becomes a bond of mutual respect, a love that no longer burns just for attention, but for understanding. And yet, let's not dismiss the young. The dance between older men and younger women has been written about since ancient times. Why? Because life is drawn to life. Energy is drawn to wisdom. Curiosity is drawn to experience. But the wise man does not exploit this. He honors it. He understands that while youth brings beauty and excitement, it is not his role to consume it recklessly. It is his role to uplift, to guide, to inspire, not to drain. The mature man who carries wisdom offers the young woman not just fleeting pleasure, but insight, a glimpse of what it means to love not just with passion, but with purpose. And if she is wise, she sees this as a gift. Time changes us all. Our faces, our bodies, our desires, they shift, they evolve. But character endures. The man who cultivates depth of character grows more attractive with each passing year. He becomes timeless. And the woman who embraces her evolving beauty, Her wisdom, her power, becomes radiant in ways youth alone cannot match. This is the quiet truth of love across time. It is not about resisting change. It is about growing through it. It is about seeing beauty not just in the new, but in the enduring. And in this understanding, you free yourself. You free yourself from the fear of age. You free yourself from the illusions of fleeting attraction. And you step fully into the life of a person who can love and be loved at any stage of life. Mistakes men make and how to rise above them. For many men, desire blinds them. In the pursuit of love, whether from younger or older women, they fall into predictable traps. They either chase too hard or they grow complacent too soon. Both are signs of inner weakness, not strength. The man who chases young women desperately, as if they are the prize that will complete him, reveals his emptiness. He treats her youth as if it will rescue him from his own fading vitality. But a man who believes this does not understand. No woman can fill the void of a man who has not filled it himself. The wiser man does not pursue youth to feel young again. He builds a life so full, so vibrant, so rich, that youth is naturally drawn to his flame, not because he is hungry, but because he is whole. And then there is another trap. With older women, some men become fearful of their depth. They grow intimidated by her experience, her clarity, her unwillingness to tolerate weakness. A younger man may try to impress her with shallow bravado, but she sees through it instantly. What she desires is not noise, but presence. Not performance, but authenticity. The mistake men make here is underestimating her wisdom. She is not fooled by surface. She is drawn to substance. And the mature man who understands this meets her not with games, but with grounded truth. He listens more than he speaks. He observes more than he judges. And in doing so, he earns a kind of respect that is rare in any age of life. Here is the deeper truth. Whether she is young or older, a woman desires to feel the gravity of a man's presence. Not his anxiety, not his neediness, not his fear of time slipping away, but his unshakable presence, the quiet confidence of a man who is at home within himself. Because when you are deeply rooted in your own being, age becomes secondary. Your energy speaks louder than your words. Your focus becomes your magnetism. And in that state, you stop asking, "What do women want?" Because you already embody the answer. Mistakes come from desperation, from forgetting that love is not something you chase. It is something you attract by becoming more of who you are meant to be. The Stoic man remains centered. He does not flinch at rejection. He does not over-celebrate acceptance. Because he knows both are fleeting, what remains is character. What endures is presence. The young woman feels this and is drawn to the man who offers her not just excitement, but direction. The older woman feels this and is drawn to the man who offers her not just attention, but depth. And the wise man? He offers both. Not by effort, but by being. So remember this. Your greatest mistake is believing you must perform to be worthy of love. Your greatest power is realizing that by becoming whole within yourself, love, in any form, at any age, will naturally flow to you. And when it does, you will be ready, not to consume it, but to honor it, because you understand the seasons change, the faces change, but the soul of love remains the same. It is not found in chasing, it is found in becoming. The timeless man, becoming irresistible at any age. There is a man who does not fear time. He does not chase youth, nor does he run from age. He moves through the seasons of life as the river moves through the valley. Steady, powerful, inevitable. This is the timeless man. What makes him timeless is not his appearance. It is not the smoothness of his skin or the color of his hair. It is his essence, his calm, his grounded nature, his unshakable presence in a world full of noise and distraction. Women feel it instantly, young or older. They are drawn to it without knowing why. It is the energy of a man who knows who he is and who does not need permission to be himself. The Stoics taught us long ago, do not waste your energy on what you cannot control. Youth fades, beauty changes, time marches on. But character? Character is yours to build. Every day, every moment. The timeless man invests in what endures. He sharpens his mind. He tempers his emotions. He cultivates his spirit. And with each passing year, he becomes more radiant, not less. Women too evolve in their desires. The young woman seeks adventure, energy, a spark that ignites her curiosity. The older woman seeks depth, steadiness, a flame that warms without consuming. The timeless man offers both. He carries adventure in his heart and depth in his soul. He is playful yet wise, passionate yet grounded, alive fully in every moment, not clinging to the past, not fearing the future. There is no desperation in him, no need to prove, to perform, to beg for attention. Because here is the secret. When you become the man of value, the world notices. When you stop chasing and start becoming, you shift from seeker to sought. Women, young and older alike, sense this magnetism. It is not in your words. It is not in your gestures. It is in the weight of your presence, the way you hold silence, the way you meet her eyes, not with hunger, but with quiet recognition. You are not there to take from her. You are there to share something greater, the fullness of your being. This is the mark of the timeless man. He lives not for approval, but for alignment. Not for applause, but for purpose. Not for fleeting validation, but for enduring connection. He understands that love is not something to win or lose. It is something to experience, deeply, fully, authentically. And whether life brings him the spark of young love or the steady flame of mature passion, he welcomes it with open arms, not out of need, but out of abundance. Because he knows when you master yourself, you master attraction. When you master your mind, you master your destiny. And in doing so, you become the man who is not defined by age, but by timeless power. So ask yourself, what will you build? Who will you become? Will you cling to what fades, or will you rise into what endures? The choice is yours. Become the timeless man and watch how the world responds.